My name is Ahmed. I am Egyptian from Cairo, Egypt, and I am studying at the University of New Orleans in Louisiana, and I'm studying jazz. So the experience of coming here to the US and studying jazz has been central to my experience as a musician, and at this point, I don't know how I could have done without it because it was just so important. I started learning jazz on my own and with the help of some mentors, some older jazz musicians in Cairo, and there's a small but vibrant jazz community in Cairo, but very small. And so the opportunities for learning from different people and playing with different people are pretty limited. And so the opportunity to come here and play the music with the people who came up with the music and with the people whose music that is, and just engaging with that musical tradition in real life was, just something that was incredibly valuable to my experience as a musician and as an educator. I first applied to the Fulbright Scholarship in 2022, and I got rejected the first time, which I hear is a common thing. And I applied again for the 2023 cycle, and I got in through the course of the process. It was very, very, very exciting. I had always known about Fulbright. You kind of just hear about it, and when I was teaching at the American University in Cairo, a lot of people, my professors, faculty there, recommended that I maybe look into the Fulbright program, and so I did. It's kind of an offshoot of swing music, and there were many swing resurgences. There was, I think, one in the 90s, and swing revivalism is a thing that happens on and off. I wish there was more of that in Egypt. There are a couple of big bands actually in Egypt. The Cairo Big Band, I think, is what it's called. And yeah, it's incredibly fun music, and it's kind of like the biggest, the most showy kind of and grand kind of jazz experience. But specifically, big band music, I'm not sure what first inspired me, but I can tell you what first inspired me to learn jazz. What first inspired me to start on this journey to learn jazz, which I didn't understand at the time, would be, like you're only seeing 2 steps ahead of you, not aware that you're climbing a mountain, and jazz was that. And so I first really got exposed to jazz when I met a saxophonist actually not in Cairo, in the Sinai in Egypt, Shadi Qasir, who then became my friend and kind of my mentor. And we just kind of traveled in Sinai for a couple of summers, and he became sort of my unofficial jazz mentor for a while before I started to really try to learn the music on my own and play with other people. And it was just a gradual kind of like, tunnel vision into that specific, this is what I need to learn. This is what I need to understand and recreate, and it's been like an 8-year journey, and I'm still a student of jazz, I would say. Yes, but I wouldn't say Egyptian music. There's hardly delineation between Egyptian music and other Arab music. But yes, I do. This is actually my main focus of research currently, is drawing kind of parallels within what may seem like 2 very different cultural and musical traditions. The first is modal jazz improvisation, and the second is Taqsim, which is free maqam improvisation. And so this is my main focus in my research currently, and it is also the basis on which I write a lot of my original music. And I was lucky enough to be given the opportunity to write these original pieces and be able to perform them. I performed one in Jazz Fest last year, and hopefully we'll do this year again. But yes, definitely my musical voice is marked by my situation kind of between two cultural traditions and trying to find the most authentic way that I could express my musical ideas, borrowing from both these rich cultural and musical traditions. Music could heal, music could aggravate, music could inspire, but in the end, music is just something humans do. And I think when you think about it this way, it kind of, a lot of the other stuff, you know, kind of melts away, is that we've been singing songs for hundreds of thousands of years, you know, and we're never going to stop singing songs and making music, and so it's a central part of the human experience. It's kind of difficult to encapsulate how transformative it's been, and overusing the word transformative, but my studies in a real, you know, jazz institution and a real jazz program kind of illuminated my path and really kind of drew connections of things that I'd maybe already known but not studied formally. I had no formal instruction in music before this master's program, and so there were huge challenges going in because I did feel like I'm out of my depth with a lot of the material, and maybe that I had grasped certain concepts in a way that wasn't, in a way that was, you know, not exactly how it's supposed to be understood. So it kind of like realigned and reinformed and drew all of these missing puzzle pieces and put them in place. And so I feel like a much more accomplished and much more well-rounded musician than I did 2 years ago, that is for sure. I think that I was given the space to play the music in my own way, with my own sort of like vision and creative freedom, which, you know, that was really amazing for me. And so I think, you know, having that kind of different cultural experience and different cultural voice in that department, I'm sure was a good thing. And I was lucky enough to meet a group of amazing musicians in New Orleans, a lot of, you know, working musicians, lots of people from Arab backgrounds, and yeah, so I think that, you know, just being involved with that community of Arab musicians as well as jazz musicians in New Orleans, it's kind of a give and take of you know, cultural exchange and all of that. And so yeah, that's been kind of the best part about my experience, is getting to both play jazz the way it's supposed to be played, and also, you know, being able and having the freedom to use my own voice. Mardi Gras. Mardi Gras is incredible. I recommend anyone who can go and experience New Orleans and experience the beauty and craziness and music and food and costumes and everything that comes with New Orleans. I would highly, highly recommend it. I also experienced snow in New Orleans, which hadn't happened in, I don't know, like over a decade, and so that was magical. Well, I definitely still plan on being a musician, a professional musician, and work with as many people as I can and play as much music as I could. Um, Also, I love teaching, and I taught before my program, and I intend to continue teaching when I'm done with my program. Um, but my biggest goal, I think, and maybe this is, you know, like a little bit um, overly ambitious, but I think that there is so much room for growth in the, if you want to call it the Egyptian music scene. And I think that I was always conflicted on whether to, you know, engage fully with that or decide not to engage with that and do, you know, sort of my own thing. But I do believe that my career as a musician and as an educator, and I think it all is going to hopefully lead me to be able to teach maybe younger kids and do something that helps music education in general in Egypt, so that we could do music, you know, do music more professionally, do music in a more authentic way that kind of aligns with our culture, that that people could that could resonate with people on an emotional level, and I think it's really important that people understand music, even if it's just on a basic level. And so my biggest goal, I think, is to teach as many people as possible about music.